it's got an extraordinary sense of spirituality about it, and so it gets back to this issue of imagination, that it's a good thing to imagine a spiritual identity in special places, and it's like, I think we have to have the humility to say, we can't really know what the nature of that spiritual identity is, and yet we should be respecting it as in a way that we simply don't. And I think you really see the sort of soulless nature of the Western world in going to a place like the Northern Territory, where there is this sort of attitude of contempt for the ecological values of the environment, and I take the view that ecology, that biodiversity is just something that is incredibly precious. Where genetic structures have come into existence over hundreds of millions of years, here we are just destroying them. And getting back to Merlin's comment about extinction, we do have this problem of the sixth extinction that's being inflicted by the soulless nature of modern industrial civilization. And we do have this problem that we're at risk this century of another great dying, which was at the end of the Permian era 252 million years ago. There was 95% of all species went extinct. And the sort of scale of change that we are bringing to our planet really does have the risk of that scale of change. And I just think that that's absolutely terrible. I would like to see humans continue to exist for another billion years. And I think that we're at this sort of cusp, a threshold of, is our format of intelligent life ecologically sustainable? Can we use our brains as adaptive mechanisms that will enable us to find a way to sustain our life on this planet? Now, at the moment, the answer would be no. So we really need a sort of drastic transformation of our thinking in order to achieve that. And I think that going into a place like the desert, like A.D. Hope said, that from deserts the prophets come. So there's this sense of a prophetic message that emerges from the desert that's, looking at reconciling our spiritual and practical lives.
I guess I do think likely we will be wiped out soon, and if we take a lot of species with us, it has happened to the Earth before, and there will be another lot of evolution that goes on. It's unlikely that there will be another sort of intelligent species like us, that the Earth will recover. It'll take time, but the Earth will recover, but it'll be uninhabitable for us for a while, and we'll be gone, and 95% of the species will be gone, and then the Earth will come back, and there'll be another lot of evolution that goes on, and another variation of species that turn up, and that's happened before.
But that's one possible future. But I think there's another possible future, which is that we see our existence as made in the image of God, as meaning that our ability to use language means that we are the universe speaking, and that is something special, which we should see as good, that we should want humans to continue to flourish. So we should not give up in the face of the threat of extinction, but we should say, how can we transform our world so that humans can continue to exist?
We have to have a drastic reduction of the population.
Well, I don't even know about that.
It's resources,
yeah,
and if you look into that, that's not a nice picture.
Getting back to Robert's comment about visiting the ocean, the fact is that 71% of our planet is ocean, and on average the ocean is 4 kilometres deep. So there's more than a billion cubic kilometres of water on our planet, which we have, my view is that we will be the new whales, that we will move to the ocean and we will give the land back to the animals. Now that's a sort of 1,000-year vision of a transformation of human existence, but it's that sort of science fiction dream that can start to imagine alternative futures. And I think there is this whole dystopian direction in science fiction, but I suppose I'm looking at it in a more utopian line of just a high level of optimism about our ability to use our minds, our brains, our souls to sustain our existence. And then, given the scale of the world ocean, there is this question, well, is it actually true that, if we transform the way we live, a lot of people can still, our planet can support a very large quantity of life?
Big if.
It is a big if, yeah.
But transformation is the key word.
Okay.
It just might be interesting at the end of it to try and pull it together a bit and imagine if you're walking through the desert and just say you could live there for more than 20 days. Just imagine what a minimal footprint you're placing on the planet with that kind of lifestyle compared to my day-to-day in Canberra, where I actually do have a car. It's a hybrid, but I've still used the resources of the planet to make the car. I've actually driven here. We're blessed with heating and on a large scale, and clothes that have come from all over the planet, leather for shoes. I mean, we're just, even though we try to live a fairly simple lifestyle, it's still, compared to the desert, it's an order of magnitude or 2 orders of magnitude greater than how you've lived.
So it's this Faustian bargain that we've got, that we have this magnificent lifestyle for a short time, but at what cost?
Anyway, something to think about.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. You've given us so much to think about. Oh, goodness. And the landscapes are absolutely amazing. And artistry. And just spectacular.
That's my tent. I'll give you a bit of a slide talk. I took the fly off so that I could watch the stars, and the stars are absolutely magnificent. This is one of these Larapinta creek beds that you walk up, just all these myriad different colours of rocks. Just beautiful.
Not so much optical pollution for stargazing.
That's right. So we saw the dark emu, which is in between the Southern Cross and Scorpio, rising in the east, which is in front of the Milky Way. There's just a whole lot of dark cloud, which is one of the famous Aboriginal star patterns.
I'd like to present you this. This is a certificate of appreciation and a little something you can go and indulge with.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming along, and some of the photos I'd like to talk to you about some of creating into some paintings. So just like something like that, it's just spectacular. I've actually, years ago I did a painting with all these little things with kangaroos and things.
These are the rock wallabies in Red Bank Gorge.
Yeah, beautiful. That's fabulous photography. So thank you for giving us so much to think about. Just amazing. We'll all have to go home and do lots of homework.
Well, look, I do apologise if anybody found the talk a bit too intense and dense, but I feel that it's just good to give people a whole range of ideas to think about, and I hope that you found something to think about from it. Thank you.
I think you've given us
Rob's has presented a couple of things for us in the past which are on our website. So if you look in Canberra, youngsociety.org.au, under top left in the menu you'll see articles and so forth. So you can see, for example, his paper on Eon on the website. Terry, did you want to say a word about next month?
Next month,
Or Jean?
Terry is going to be talking. Would you like to stand up and tell everybody?